Residential sales comparison and income approaches, page 40. Determine the neighborhood that will be used for the purpose of analysis. This will assist the appraiser in recognizing data that is truly comparable for the purpose of developing an opinion of value by applying comparable data. The appraiser will often start to define a neighborhood by looking at the natural and man-made geographic boundaries of an area. Natural boundaries include the obvious waterways, mountains, or valleys. Man-made boundaries include man-made items such as streets, highways, and railroads, and may also be drawn along a school district. A corporation boundary or other jurisdiction such as a township or county line. Neighborhood analysis. The appraiser should be familiar with the area to determine if there is currently any change occurring in the defined neighborhood or indications that change or transition could be on the horizon. The appraiser is also looking for a similarity of land usage and types of improvements, as well as consistency of building style, landscaping, and general maintenance levels. Change is most related to the broad forces of value, or PEGs, which were discussed in Chapter 1. Outwardly, many of these changes can be observed by determining what stage of the neighborhood life cycle the subject neighborhood is experiencing. Growth is the first stage a neighborhood goes through in its life cycle. In this stage, property values tend to rise as developing activity begins and continues. Buyers fuel this growth by continuing to demand and purchase property in the area. This demand translates acceptance of the area and causes the area to grow. It is important that an appraiser be knowledgeable about the area in which he is appraising, because he needs to be able to determine if there is any change occurring in the defined neighborhood, either currently or the possibility of it in the future. Right here is the life cycle of a neighborhood. It starts with growth, goes up, then it flatlines at stability/equilibrium, and then it goes down for the decline, and then eventually it comes back with revitalization. Market area/neighborhood timeline. Page 41. Stability. Stability, also called equilibrium, is the second stage a neighborhood goes through in its life cycle. In this stage, property values are at their highest level and the area is considered built up. Demand typically remains high as buyers continue to demonstrate preference for this neighborhood, and there is little, if any, vacant properties. Prices usually remain stable to increasing during this period. Note, some neighborhoods remain stable for indefinite periods of time. Decline. Decline is the third stage a neighborhood goes through in its life cycle. In this stage, property values begin to fall as demand falls. Decline in a neighborhood is typically observable through deterioration. This in turn leads to the area becoming even less desirable, and the cycle feeds upon itself. For example, a less desirable area where properties exhibit deferred maintenance translates into lower prices. Lower prices mean that lower income residents with less money to spend on repairs will be attracted to the homes, with some or many properties converted physically or in predominant occupancy as rental units, which could lead to lower maintenance. This may in turn accelerate the decline. Revitalization. Revitalization is the fourth and final stage a neighborhood goes through in its life cycle. In this stage, property values begin to rise again as demand increases, resulting in or resulting from a change in property condition levels due to increased restoration, renovation, modernization, or rehabilitation. After a complete revitalization stage, the neighborhood returns to stability/equilibrium, and the cycle could begin again. Revitalization occurs when properties are again seen as attractive for their location, architectural features, or maybe even investment potential. Whatever the reason, people begin to spend money to improve these properties, and they become desirable again. Revitalization can be generally a slow process or one that occurs rather rapidly. The process of rapid property revitalization, where current residents are displaced, is called gentrification. That was highlighted. Analysis of offering and sale history of the subject property. Sales contracts, past and current listings, and any past or current agreements of sale are important components of the appraiser's subject property analysis. In Chapter 1, USPAP Standards Rule 1-5 was introduced, which discusses in part the appraiser's obligation. End of page. Extra note, tornado, fires, or floods are gentrification. I don't know, it was written in there. And something about property in a life cycle with gentrification.